What was he thinking about you today? But first, let's have a look. Who is he? I would say that potentially he's an air sign, so that's Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, but not necessarily. He might have certain air sign qualities in his personality. He's very smart. He really likes to study. He also really likes to be the smartest person in the room. And in addition to that, he might also really like his space. Like, he might be definitely an introvert, although he really likes to communicate with other people to kind of check their perspective on the world. And he also really likes the exchange of information. Okay, what was he thinking about you today? Okay, he was thinking about reaching out to you. So we have Knight of Swords and we also have Knight of Pentacles. It kind of feels like you had some sort of breakup or maybe some sort of tense interaction which left him feeling rejected. He's very upset because of that. He also feels like that crack in your relationship, it contributed significantly to him feeling numb, him feeling almost bored, like he's missing something in his life. And he wants to reach out to you, but at the same time, he is trying to stay composed. He is trying to control his actions and not act rashly or impulsively, because he feels like if he's going to do something very impulsive, he might say certain things that he might regret, and this might result in yet another rejection from you, or maybe some sort of cold shoulder that you might give him as a result of that, where you kind of outlining very strict boundaries that will be very hurtful for him. He feels like he wants to restart something. He feels the spark to reignite the connection, and if you had some sort of conflict, he wants to reconciliate. If you are on a distance, if you are on a pause, or if this is an ex connection like I mentioned briefly, he wants to see you and he kind of wants to test the waters, because he is open to something new, to you both being together, because he really misses the connection that you had. And I would say that he is remembering everything that happened between both of you, and he's remembering specifically your touches, what you said to each other, and also generally the atmosphere, the vibes that were created. And he is nostalgic. He feels quite romantic when he's remembering all of that. He feels like his body is being filled with affection, and partly because of that, he also feels the impulse to reach out to do something about this situation. He misses the cooperation that you guys had. You also might have worked together, but not necessarily. It could be kind of a cooperation when you are building something together, and then building a house. You might be working on the same project, or maybe you are united by the same goal of, getting rich or something like that. He misses that. And he misses you. You come up here as the Queen of Cups. He feels like you are someone who is very gentle, very caring, and he is very attracted to your emotional nature, to your sensitivity, and also to your sensuality. You might also be quite poetic. He feels like you are very cute, and he also really likes how you look. He feels like you might look a little bit childish in a sense, like you might have, kind of like cheeks and like full lips. He's very attracted to your water, soft, feminine energy, and he feels like he really is left out in the cold. You are not giving him your warmth anymore, and you are not investing that much of your energy in the relationship, and he feels quite upset. He's also thinking how he is in this kind of situation where he almost feels like there's no way out, like there is not much that he can actually do. He feels very constrained. It might be also certain external circumstances that are preventing you from being together, or preventing you from kind of talking to each other, or maybe you had this kind of conflict where he feels like he cannot reach out because it will hurt his pride. Okay, let's quickly have a look. What else? He is being really hopeful, actually. He feels like you can restore your relationship, and he really wants reconciliation. Like I said, if you had a conflict, he also feels like this situation gave him clarity, and he also understands how he misses the good times with you, and I feel like he also kind of reflected on all of his mistakes, and he is becoming a little bit more mature when it comes to his behavior, and he is, he's looking towards this connection with hope. Yeah, and it feels like he will proceed with reestablishing this connection to the way how it was before. Or if you did not break up, if you are still in the connection, he will try to bring something positive, something optimistic in this connection, and maybe also try to kind of remind you of all the warm and good moments that you both are sharing. Why is he silent or not reaching out to you? But first, let's have a look. Who is he? I would say that potentially he's a water sign, so that's Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, but not necessarily. He might have certain water sign qualities in his personality. He's someone who is a romantic, affectionate person. He's very sensual, very sensitive, also might be quite intuitive, but when it comes to his emotions, like, he can be a little bit immature at times, and he might care a little bit too much about what other people are thinking about him. Okay. Why is he silent or not reaching out to you? Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of silence. It feels like it might have been more than, a few days of silence. It's silence. Yeah. It feels like it's not just, emotional distance, but maybe also physical distance. And he feels like he didn't see you. You also potentially didn't see him as well. Maybe you blocked him or he blocked you. Something that is like very obviously silence. And he feels like he needs to defend himself, like he's kind of in defensive position. He's defending himself, and he feels like everything that was happening between both of you, it was a little bit too intense, and it broke his heart. He feels heartbroken, and he also feels like he needs to protect and kind of like defend his interests in this situation. He feels like potentially you had a moment of clarity, and that moment of clarity almost scared him. He was not ready, and it feels like in general he was wounded in the past by certain experiences that really traumatized him, that literally broke his heart, and he is unable to open up. He's unable to respond to clarity, and potentially that clarity, it came across as something very sudden. He was really unprepared, and this was his kind of defense mechanism, because he didn't know what to do with it. He decided to run, and he decided to protect himself. So what he's doing now, being in silence, not reaching out, is his attempt to protect himself, to protect his wounded, bleeding heart. He also feels like you had some sort of tense interactions with each other. Maybe it was an argument, maybe it was a conflict, something that he felt was a little bit intense, and he also felt like he needed to defend himself, and he needed to defend his interests like that. And so because of that, he felt like his pride was wounded strongly, and he feels like this is something he cannot really do. This is something that is very important for him, and he felt like his peace and his view of the world was shattered a little bit as a result of that argument. He feels very sad. He feels very alone, and he just feels like he needs some time to recuperate from that. But I would say that this block is really a block. Like, this is like silence. But I would say that the situation might actually change, because we also have the sun and the star at the bottom of the deck. So we have hope, and we also have joy and happiness. So I would say that there is some hope for him if you blocked him, that you will kind of get back to how the relationship was before. If you are in the block, he feels like after a certain amount of time, when he gets the sign from the universe, when he feels the warmth, when he feels like he's comfortable, like he's ready to open up, he will change the situation. Because we also have 6 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles, and you come up here as Queen of Pentacles. So you don't come out here as an ex or someone that he really hates. Like, it just feels like something that he feels very constrained by, I would say that he might have, you know, an avoidant attachment style, something like that. Like he really is scared of his emotions, and he's right now like deeply protecting himself. But despite that, he sees you as someone who is very high value, someone who is very self-sufficient, someone who is really beautiful, someone who is very reliable, someone who is stable, and someone who can be in his long-term vision. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. But he feels very alone, and he feels like there's not much that he can do. I would say that at this point in time, when he's gonna miss you, he might unblock you if it's him who blocked you. But if you blocked him, he misses you and he feels very upset. He feels like he's, you know, he's banging on the glass door and he is unable to hear you respond to him, but he still has hope that your relationship might change.